what are the five, like not just five, but what are the key learnings you got while you were building this infrastructure, unified career infrastructure you just talked about? So what were those key learnings? What things that our students can also understand while they want to build up a career in the digital world? Not exactly the infrastructure like yours, but some startup.
See, you know, startup or anything in life, whatever you do, whether you are building a business or whether you're taking up your father's business or whether you're getting employed, um, you have to be responsible if you really want to be happy. Responsibility comes with a lot of actions that are taken. There is only one kind of human beings who can be happy without being responsible, and they are the small infant babies. So they can be irresponsible and they can be happy at the same time. And we are not, while we are building something for the future, while we are building something that matters, while we are building something that the world wants or would need. So, while building your startup, I think it is very important to connect the dots, whatever steps you have taken. And could you again come back to me with your questions, because I really want to, I think I have something to connect to your question. Could you just repeat your question once again?
So my question was basically, what was your learning that our student can?
Exactly. So my prime learning is, if you look at the likes of Steve Jobs, and if you look at the likes of the Larry Ellisons of the world, and at the same time, if you are also reading the Plato and the Socrates, they would come back to you with one fundamental thing of, you cannot see the dots looking forward, you can only see them looking backwards. And once you have taken the steps, you are able to uh, figure out what you have drawn out of it. And my personal learning, if you are to say, I think I am probably at 0.1% of the infrastructure that I'm looking to build. And till now, I think what is most important is being truthful to people, being committed, and delivery. And these are the three things which have been a finding pillar to, build the first ladder of the first step of the ladder. So I think it is very important to know your ground, to know the ecosystem, and at the same time, it is also very important to be true to your conscience, so that people are able to count on you. If you are not belonging to a very big business family, then you need to get into the network and you need to first win trust. And you can only win trust by delivering what you say.
That's really sweet. I hope our students can actually get some insights. So, sir, just like you mentioned that you were not from ICT background, so
Mm.
how should our students that we are from commerce background not exactly been in
Right.
touch with IT sector? So, how should
Mhm.
we get along?
So I belong to the same clan as yours. I am also a BBA graduate. So I do not have a formal ICT or an engineering degree or an academic learning. But the first and the foremost thing is break down into the fundamentals. I think that is the most important thing. Like, again, uh, it is very important, to look at the application of what you're learning in real life, which you understand. So if I'm to talk about a doctor in today's date, where all of us needs a doctor, so there are doctors who are cardio specialists or neuro specialists or nephro specialists, etc., etc., and there are doctors who are MBBS. So if I break that down into an ICT format, then I know that there are front-end specialists, there are back-end specialists, there are middleware specialists, and there are full-stack developers. So now I get into the job role of what a front-end developer must know, what a back-end developer must know, what the entire full-stack developer does. And then I'm able to, as I said, it is LinkedIn is a very important tool. I think when it comes to job applications, where you get to see the job descriptions listed down. Uh, Once you look at the different points in the job description, start scratching them up on YouTube and use Chat GPT and the Groks of the world, because they are a tool. We should not forget that AI is a tool. Like machine used to be a tool for mankind some decades ago, some centuries ago, and some maybe multiple centuries ago. It is very tactical for us to understand and accept, because unless you accept, and if there is a doubt, there will be fiction to acceptability. So you first need to accept that these GPT programmers are not taking away our jobs. They are nothing but a tool. So why do I am only going to be scared if I am incapable of delivering something. For example, if I'm asked to stitch a dress, I'm incapable and I will not be able to do it. So I would blame it on AI, that AI has taken over my job. However, if I am building let's say a building, I'm constructing a building, I need to know what are columns and pillars. I need to know load bearing capacity. I need to know what is a tensile strength. So these are the certain keywords that I pick up and understand and see how I'm able to relate. So as I mentioned, like for doctors, there are different departments, there are different specializations that doctors do. And at the same time, there are specialists who do everything, an MBBS, MD kind of a doctor. So similarly, in ICT, what I looked at is there are different kinds of developers and different kinds of programmers. One who are only managing front ends, one who are only managing back ends. The other ones are only mixing everything up and putting them up on cloud, hosting them up on cloud. And there are faults in one part or another, errors, mistakes, which are to be looked into, where deployment becomes a challenge. And if I were to do something, it does not need that I must know coding line by line. Still today, I do not understand coding. I do not know how to code, but I understand the bent of technology, as in what uh, Python can do, what Postgre can do, versus what analytics could be drawn, what different models of analytics can be drawn to put out into the real world the meaning of the software application. So those are the things which are analogical, and at the same time, where you are able to bring in something which you are not aware of into a comprehensible real life example, and then you apply to it and pull up and break it down into every fundamental possibility. So that kind of triggers and helps you keep pepping. Okay, fine. This is a small bit that I have acquired. Now let's move on to the next. Let us understand what three kinds of different programs written in one written in Java, one written in React, Angular, and one written in HTML, CSS, and how they can be blended into one, and how their meaningful outcomes can be derived out of it. So there are YouTube has millions of videos around it. Facebook has, because once you start keeping, because you need to fire yourself, you need to be a self refueling agent, or else it becomes very difficult. So if I was talking about this to somebody else the other day, people say that oh, look at him, he's become the CEO of the company, of so and so company, e-commerce, so he's got good earning and stuff. I am doing just a mere job as a clerk or whatever. You need to understand, as a CEO of an e-commerce, every day he has to live and breathe CEO of being an e-commerce. He has, a tech giant has to deal only with technology. An officer in a bank has to deal with everything related to banking. An officer at ONGC always has to deal with ONGC related stuff, oil and gas. So it cannot be that I will reach to the top and I will not be working. So that is again being irresponsible and willing to be happy. So, if you ask, like my personal opinion, it boils down to the same line of explanation. You have to know your subject very well, and you do not need a pitch deck. You do not need a software, a very fancy version of things. It is very important that you are able to relate your gap mitigating tool, whatever you're building,
Mhm.
to the everyday life, and you are able to talk about it and
Right.
or address all kind of objections. And if there is an objection that you are unable to address, I think that is the best moment of invention. That is the eureka moment, where you are able to see that, okay, fine, I did not have a third eye to this. I was
Right.
able to see in plain sight these are the things happening, but the third eye tells me, okay, these are the things that you have not addressed yet. So that is a
Right.
moment of learning and eureka moment.